Morning, everybody. It's another dreary, chilly day on the farm this morning. I think it's around 55 degrees, and another dreary, wet, rainy day. Not a hay day today, although maybe late this afternoon I might cut a little bit of hay because the next couple days looks fairly good. I've got some hay that's been down for 3-4 days now. Been rained on several times, but maybe we'll try again here later this afternoon. But I decided today it's about time I start tackling my colts and getting so their feet trimmed up a little bit. I've trimmed them up a little bit already, but I want to show you how I go about it. And being a rainy day, it's a good day to do that. So let's go into the horse barn and see what we can do there. Okay, we're going to start with Earl. I've never cross-tied him here in the doorway here, but I thought it might work good, so we'll see if it does. Okay, so I'm going to start with Earl, and a little background here for some of you people that haven't been watching my videos. This is a pair of colts that I purchased about 3 or 4 months ago now, I guess. They were 7-8 months old, and now they're one. Let me think now. Earl's about a year old now, and Duke is about 10, 11 months old. So when I bought them, they'd never had anything done with their feet, and I've had them here for several months now, and I've been fooling with their feet a little bit. I've done a little bit of trimming even already on them. But not a lot, not as much as I really should have been doing. Things has been so busy here on the farm, it's been difficult to do this stuff. But anyways, Earl is the one that, if you'd seen some of our videos, the one that had the tumor that we took off of his butt. And I will actually show you that now, how good that looks, if I can show you. So, as you can see, it's absolutely not visible. There seems to be absolutely nothing wrong there at all. As I feel it, that core piece that the vet was concerned with, I might possibly feel a tiny little bit, but there's just basically nothing there. It's like it's totally healed. So, as of right now, we're not doing anything, and if things look as they do right now, we probably won't do anything. So that's what's going on with Earl. So I'm going to tackle him first. Some of the stuff, as I'm working, I'll try to explain what I'm doing, but a lot of times when I'm working, I just have to concentrate on working. I can't really explain everything out, so I will come back later when I edit the video and tell you at that time, talk over it a little bit and explain what I'm doing. Now, these videos that I'm doing with these colts and with their feet, especially right now, it's for people that have colts that want to know how to do that. And I am not a farrier, so I'm really somewhat not qualified to even do this, but I have trimmed my horse's feet for years. And I guess what I'm trying to tell you and what I'm trying to explain to you is just the average person can do this. And even if they can't do this, the actual trimming, if they've got colts like this, it's so important to practice picking their feet up so that when you hire a farrier to come in to do the job, they're used to people handling their feet, so they pick them up good. Now, I have not been doing this as good as I should have been, but they've been fairly good, but I'll even talk about that as I go along. So if you're going to tackle this job, and a lot of times people just are scared to do this, and I want to just show people it's not that hard, and that just start bit by bit, and you can learn a few things as you go along. And so the tools that I have are a hoof knife, a pair of hoof nippers. These are a fairly good set, but you can buy cheap sets that work fine if you've just got them to be trimming your colt's feet. And then I have a rasp. So with you can see he's not very patient here. So with a hoof knife, it has a curve, quite a curve to it right there. So I don't know how other people do it, but the way I sharpen it is I just use a round file, a chainsaw file. And so I will sharpen it like this, and that way it goes up into the corner here, and you're able to get that corner sharp. I need my glasses so I can see what I'm doing better, but you get the idea. And then down in the corners, you can get those corners too. And if you work at it, you can get your knife quite sharp, and that's important. This is still not that sharp, but it'll work for what I'm doing today. So, let's get at the job at hand. All right. I'm gonna let you see some of the fighting that happens when you're dealing with a colt that's not, really experienced with this. But I'm also gonna jump around a lot so that when he is good, I can really show you hopefully what I'm doing. But I wanted to show you, or allow you to see some of this when he's not doing good, because they will over time. And so, but because this colt has not been really fooled with a lot, this is what happens. And you just have to be patient, and sometimes you have to be strong too to hold them to behave when you're doing your job. Oh. 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 I'm going to let him down so he knows it's not always a fight. Like I said, when I get a good foot when they're behaving, I'm hoping the film will show me doing what I want to show and explain a few things out. So after I get that hoof trimmed off like I just did, I just hit it with a rasp to make it level. Yes. Look at Earl. Now we're gonna look at your foot. You keep moving it. All right. So here we are starting the second hoof, and what I just do is take my hoof knife, and sometimes I turn around so I don't get it dull, and just flick all the dirt out of the hoof and then scrape everything clean so I can see what I've got. If the frog needs a little work, I'll take a little off the frog. But a lot of times these colts, a lot of other horses, they just don't need hardly anything done to the frog. And of course he's still not standing good, but we'll get it cleaned up, and then I can take the nippers and cut the toes down to where they belong. Sometimes when I'm cleaning the hoof off, I just hold it with the hoof with one hand and clean it out. But when I use the nippers, I've got to put the foot between my legs and hold it this way. I try to stay as close to the colt as possible so it's not pulling too much side pressure on the leg. And then I usually start at the toe and just work my way around and get the toe down to the height I want it, and then the heels I usually cut very little off the heels. But when they're fighting like this, it is quite difficult. The reason I say I cut very little off the heels is my horses tend to have heels that don't grow extremely fast, and so I'm not sure how these Suffolks will be, but right now they don't have anything extra on the heels, so I don't want to cut any more than I have to. So I cut it in such a way that it keeps the toe as flat as possible, and then now I'm actually trying to shorten the toe up, so I'm cutting around the front of the toe and a little bit on the sides, but not a lot. And then I'm just taking my rasp and smoothing everything out. If you have done a good job with the nippers, there's very little that you need to do with the rasp other than smooth it. If you don't have a good flat cut with the nippers, then you've got a lot of work with the rasp. I do like short toes on my horses. This is one of those jobs that you can get pretty warm pretty quick.
Okay, let me see what we got here.
Most people are more worried about dealing with the hind feet than the front feet, but I feel that the hind feet are actually easier to deal with. You just have, I don't know, they just lay better on your body to be able to work with them. And they can't really kick you because you're behind them. And I mean, they can kick, but I don't know, I just feel that the hind feet generally are actually easier than the front feet on most horses. Another reason why it's so important to be fooling with your colt's feet is when you take them to the farrier or the farrier comes to your place to do it, if they're fighting like mine are right today, you're either going to have a farrier that's going to charge you an awful lot of money to do your shoeing and trimming, or you're not going to have a farrier because he's just not going to come back again. So it is so important to really tend to their feet and get them so that they will stand good and not fight like I'm having to fight with them today. My lighting and my camera is not positioned so that you can really see as good as I was hoping you would be able to see. But after you get the foot flat, then as you're cutting the toe off, you need to have something to go by to know how short to cut the toe. And on all horses there is what we call the white line, and I think I got a picture a little clearer later on in the video to show you that. But I will generally try to cut the toe back to the white line or pretty close to the white line. And that's what I use as a judge to know how short to make my toes. Another reason it's easier, I feel, on the hind legs is with the front legs, they have to be between your legs to hold them, and they're just harder to work on. With the hind legs, they're actually just on on your side and down one leg, and it just gives you more room to work. Phew. He gave me more of a workout than I was expecting. But like I said, I haven't really been fooling him anywhere near like I should. So what I did with this foot is I got that toe off. I'm not even gonna bother rasping it up to make it smooth. It's perfectly fine. I want to end on a good note. And yes, he fought me some. There's no doubt, but I'm still not at all displeased with how well he did. You got to remember, these colts that had very little bit of, I haven't had their feet fooled on a lot. This is what's going to happen, and so, you know, before you're ready to do a lot of trimming, you actually have to practice and get them more used to holding their feet up. So just, if you could, those people that have colts, and I'm telling you what I should be doing and I'm not, but I'm telling you what definitely works best if you have the time to do it is every day pick their feet up and hold it for a while. Take a hoof knife and clean them out, and or a hoof pick, and just generally fool with their feet, so that when the time comes for the shoer to come, or you want to tackle it yourself, they're better than he is. Now, I'm hoping that Duke is going to be a little bit better. I think fooled with his feet a little bit more, and Earl, because of his surgery that had on that tumor, he didn't get touched as far as feet goes for, you know, probably 6 weeks before 6 week stretch where he didn't have anything done with his feet. So he's not very patient, but just the same, I am happy with his feet. They came out quite satisfactorily to me, and I'm sure Real Farrier could give me a lot of critiquing, but I don't really care at this point because I'm too tired from fighting with him. But anyways, let's see if Duke does a little bit better. Okay, now we have Duke. Tackle him, see how he behaves. What I should have been doing, like I said, this is the first time they've been in this cross ties, and they should have been out here a lot more before I started this job, you know, just to get them used to being out here in ties like this. I've been fooling with their feet right in their stalls, and that works fine, and a lot of times I would just trim their feet right in their stalls. The little bit of trimming I did his front feet quite a while ago now, and I did it right in the stalls, and it works fine there. I almost prefer it in a way. He can't swing side to side so much in the stall because he's got the stall to stop him, whereas here he's got his hind end can swing quite a ways. But anyways, the one reason I don't do it that way is because if they're, and I could fix this too, but I just thought a cross tie out here might work better, and I don't know if it has, probably not. But also, if you don't tie their heads both ways, especially with colts, when you work on their front feet, you're bent over like that, a lot of times they'll swing over and nip at you, and that's not very good. So this stops them from doing that. Although I could do this in their stall, and I'm almost tempted to do it even now, just to see which works better. So maybe we'll try that. So this is the white line I'm talking about. It's a little dark in here, but you still can see the line right there.
Alright, let me see here. Let me see here.
I've got too much sawdust on the floor here. Every time the foot goes down, it gets filled full of sawdust again, and I gotta clean it out every time I pick the hoof up. I apologize, I don't have as much close-up views as I would have liked so you could see better what I'm doing. But maybe some other time I could have Brenda come out with a camera and hold it, and so you could see better what I'm doing.
Hip. Almost done. Hip. Hip. Hip.
Okay. What about you? I'm tired. But they're done. You know, it's far from a perfect job. But we didn't have any major disasters. I stayed calm. They were able to stay fairly calm. Next time will be better. Between now and that next time, if I get time, I'm going to make time to spend a little more time picking their feet up and holding their feet. And I mean, that's the biggest thing right there. The actual trimming is not that hard at all. It's teaching them to pick their feet up and hold their feet up. Down the road, if I keep them, and I expect I will, they will be doing all the feet work in the stocks. But they're really too small for the stocks right now. And they would work. I could put them in there and do it. But to me, it's more important at this age to teach them to be able to handle their feet. And that's kind of a lifelong thing that they'll know for the rest of their lives. If you teach them in this early stage to pick their feet up and hold their feet good, which these guys are not doing. But anyways, they're getting better. But that way, in my case, for example, okay, I use the stocks, but what if I'm off somewhere up in the woods or whatever and I lose a shoe and I want to put it back on? I need to be able to have a horse that's going to stay in there on 3 feet so I can work on the 4th one. So these will get that way eventually. And I probably didn't teach anything because I was too busy wrestling with these horses. But I hope you enjoyed it just the same. And if you did, if you haven't subscribed, do that. And hit the bell and hit the like button if you liked it. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button, I guess. So anyways, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.